ماشاء اللہ.
صلی اللہ تیری پہچان ہے غم مجھے کیوں کر ستائے غم مجھے کیوں کر ستائے آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے حال دل کس کو سنائے آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے اپنا جینا اپنا مرنا اب اسی چوکھٹ پہ ہے اپنا جینا اپنا مرنا اب اسی چوکھٹ پہ ہے ہم کہاں سرکار جائیں ہم کہاں سرکار جائیں آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے حال دل کس کو سنائے آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے کون ہے الطاف اپنا حال دل کس سے گئے کون ہے الطاف اپنا حال دل کس سے گئے زخم دل کس کو دکھائے زخم دل کس کو دکھائے آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے حال دل کس کو سنائے آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے کیوں کسی کے در پہ جائیں آپ کے ہوتے ہوئے
ماشاء اللہ.
صدیق کے اکبر کا ہے یار یہ محبوب خدا صدیق کے اکبر کا ہے یار یہ محبوب خدا صدیق کے اکبر کا الہی رحم فرما خادم صدیق کے اکبر کو الہی رحم فرما خادم صدیق کے اکبر کو تیری رحمت کے صدقے واسطہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا تیری رحمت کے صدقے واسطہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا زباں سے مرتبہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا ہے یار غار محبوب خدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا رسول اور انبیاء کے بعد جو افضل عالم سے رسول اور انبیاء کے بعد جو افضل عالم سے یہ عالم میں ہے کس کا مرتبہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا یہ عالم میں ہے کس کا مرتبہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا بیاں ہو کس زباں سے مرتبہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا ہے یار غار محبوب خدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا گدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا خدا سے فضل پاتا ہے گدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا خدا سے فضل پاتا ہے خدا کے فضل سے میں ہوں گدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا خدا کے فضل سے میں ہوں گدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا بیاں ہو کس زباں سے مرتبہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا ہے یار غار محبوب خدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا ہے یار غار محبوب خدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا لٹایا راہ حق میں گر کئی بار اس محبت سے لٹایا راہ حق میں گر کئی بار اس محبت سے کہ لٹ لٹ کر حسن گر بن گیا صدیق کہ اکبر کا کہ لٹ لٹ کر حسن گر بن گیا صدیق کہ اکبر کا بیاں ہو کس زباں سے مرتبہ صدیق کہ اکبر کا ہے یار غار محبوب خدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا ہے یار غار محبوب خدا صدیق کہ اکبر کا
رب العالمین والصلاة والسلام علی خاتم النبیین
أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام عليك يا رسول الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا حبيب الله الصلاة والسلام عليك يا نبي الله وعلى آلك وأصحابك يا نور الله نويت سنة الاعتكاف फरमान सीना सिद्दीक अकबर रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु है कि नबी करीम रऊफ़ रहीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम पर दूध पाक पर ना गुनाह को इस कदर जल्द मिटाता है कि पानी भी आग को इतनी जल्दी नहीं बुझाता। और नबी करीम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम पर सलाम भेजना गर्दने यानी गुलामों को आज़ाद करने से अफजल है। So Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu stated that reciting durood upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam burns away one's sins faster than the water extinguishes fire. And reciting salam upon Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is more excellent, more afzal than freeing slaves. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala wasallam. But this number, there's just a quick point. You must have heard these many hadith park, the blessing through the park, where it says, if you recite each time through the park on Akal Islam on Friday, 80 years of your sins are forgiven. Or 200 times on Friday, 200 years of sins are forgiven. And no one lives for 200 years, 80 years, 100 years. But what he means by this, by sins, is your minor sins. Your minor sins are forgiven by reciting Durood upon Akal Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because for the condition for the major sin to be forgiven is that you do true tawbah, true, sincere, repentant quote of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. It is stated that Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu never ever prostrated towards the idols. Once Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu's father took him to the place where they worship idols. And his father told him that go down, do sajda towards his idols. And he said no. Then once he radiallahu anhu said to the idols that I am hungry, feed me. I have no clothes, clothe me. And if you are a god, then protect yourself. So he radiallahu anhu threw a stone at the idol and fell to the ground. On seeing that, his father slapped his blessed face and took him to his mother and said, this is what your son has done. And she said, let him go on his way, because before he was born, I heard a voice from the unseen saying that this child is Atiq, he is freed. And also his name is Siddiq, and he is a companion, a close friend of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. This incident, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu mentioned it in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Just then, Sayyidina Jibreel alayhi salam came down and said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Abu Bakr has spoken the truth and he is Siddiq. Siddiq means the most truthful one. And Imam Ahmad Kastalani has mentioned this hadith in his Shara of Sahih Bukhari. Now, who was Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar? What was their name? The first Khalifa of Islam, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu's name was Abdullah. His kunya was Abu Bakr, and his titles are Siddiq, the most truthful, and Atiq, i.e., he's freed from the five hell. Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave the glad tidings to Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu from being freed from the five hell. He sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to him, Anta atiqun minan nar. You are freed from the fire of hell. This is why he was given this title. He's also a Qurayshi. At them time, they had different tribes. And the best tribe of them time was the Quraysh. And he radiallahu anhu belonged to the tribe of Quraysh. He also was linked to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam 7 generations above. And he was born in Makkah al-Mukarramah approximately 2.5 years after the incident of Amul Fil. Amul Fil. And Amul Fil, if you guys have studied the Seerah, you must know that this was an incident, the year of the elephant, when the tyrant Abraha got on with his army and wanted to destroy the Kaaba. So 2.5 years after that incident, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu was born. He was the first companion who testified the Prophet of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Amongst all free men, he was the first to embrace Islam. He participated in all the battles with Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and he proved his allegiance and loyalty to the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He supported Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam every single step of his life. Now, all the companions and the many companions, many tabi'een, they have said that Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu was the first man to accept Islam. Some say it was Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu, and some say it was Sayyidatuna Khadijatul Kubra radiallahu anha. So Imam Abu Hanifa rahmatullahi ta'ala reconciled these three opinions and said that the first man to accept Islam was Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu. The first boy to accept Islam was Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu. And from amongst the first women was Sayyidatuna Khadija Kubra radiallahu ta'ala anha. Now, it is the consensus, it is all agreed upon by the Ummah of Ahl Sunnah wal Jama'ah. They say that Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu is the best of creation after the Prophet. So the Prophet ﷺ is best of creation. After that is all the prophets, and after that, the best of creation is Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu, followed by Sayyidina Umar Farooq Azam radiallahu anhu, and Sayyidina Usman Ghani radiallahu anhu, and then Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu. So these four are known as Khulafa Rashideen, and this was the order. This was also order of the Khilafat as well. So the Khilafat order is also shows you the best of mankind after the Prophets alayhi wassalam. After them, the best of creation are the people, those Sahaba Karam radiallahu anhum who fought in the Battle of Badr. You all must have heard about the Battle of Badr. And after that were the companions of the Battle of Uhud. After that, those Sahaba Karam radiallahu anhum who gave the pledge of allegiance to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam under the tree called Bayt al-Ridwan. And Sayyidina Ibn Umar, who is the son of Sayyidina Umar radiallahu anhu, he said that we will attribute Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar, Sayyidina Umar, Sayyidina Osman, Sayyidina Ali with excellence and high rank, that the best of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam was among us. And he also stated, Sayyidina Ali radiallahu stated that after all the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar and Sayyidina Umar Farooq Azam radiallahu anhu is the best from this ummah. And Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu stated, whoever says I am more highly ranked than Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar and Sayyidina Umar Farooq Azam radiallahu anhu, then I will give him the punishment, and I will give him the punishment for being a slanderer. Now, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu has spent his life, his wealth, everything for the sake of Islam. And once Rasulullah alayhi wasallam has stated, nobody's wealth has given me as much benefit as the wealth of Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu. Upon hearing this, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu started to cry, and he said, Ya Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, after all, you are the owner of me, of my life. There's another narration which summary is that Aqal Islam has mentioned that I have repaid all the debt of all those people, all the companions. But regarding Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will repay his debt on the day of judgment. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. In the early state of Islam, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu wanted to propagate Islam openly. But first, they refused. The company wanted to, propagate Islam. At that time, there were only about around 38, 39 Muslims. And Aqal Islam refused to openly spread Islam. But when Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu requested Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they were given the permission. And all the Muslims went to Masjid al-Haram, and the first orator of Islam, Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu, began to deliver the khutbah. After doing the khutbah, the disbelieved the Quraysh, Even the disbelievers of Quraysh respected Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu because in the time of ignorance, he radiallahu anhu was known as Siddiq. He was truthful even at that time when there were people burying the daughters alive. That was the time of ignorance. At that time, Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu was known as Siddiq. When he radiallahu anhu was giving the sermon, calling people toward Islam, this made the disbelievers very, very angry. They did not think now who is Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar. At that time, they started to beat Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu so much that he fell unconscious. Then some people from his tribe took Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu to his home and they started to treat him. And his mother, Ummul Khair, she was not Muslim at that time. But his auntie, Jamil radiallahu anhu, she was Muslim, but she was not making her Islam apart at that time. And what were the first words? What did Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu say at that time when he was in his unconscious? He kept on saying, how is the Prophet of Allah? How is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Now, when we get injured, when we get small problem, we start to complain. But we need to understand that companions radiallahu anhu sacrificed their lives, their wealth for the sake of Islam. Whenever we fall into any trouble and difficulties, we need to remember the sacrifices of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave for the deen and the companions. Then we will realize that what we are suffering is nothing at all. Then when Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu came into consciousness, he said, take me to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because I will not eat or drink anything until I behold the blessed face of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu said, I am fond of three things: to continuously look at the fragrant face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, to spend my entire wealth in the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in the way of Rasulullah, for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and to be present in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And for the sake of his love for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepted all of these three wishes of Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu. How? He was blessed to be in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Ghar of Thawr. As you know, when Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam migrated from Makkah al-Mukarramah to Madinah al-Munawwarah, they had to stop on the way. And as you know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam slept on the blessed lap of Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu, and he radiallahu anhu kept on looking at the blessed face of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this was the first wish that was fulfilled. Number two, he wanted to sacrifice everything for the sake of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He sacrificed all of his wealth to such an extent he gave everything for the sake of Allah in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And even in the Latin tomb, he said he wanted to remain in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he had company in the Ghar Thawr, and right now he has company of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam whilst being buried next to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And this is how he has attained eternal closeness to the best of creation, sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wasallam. You know, nowadays we claim to love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but how much do we love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? When it comes to namaz, we make petty excuses. But we need to understand that namaz, it brings coolness to the eyes of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. If we love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we will not miss our namaz for small issues. Yes, there are certain reasons which you are missing namaz, but for small petty reason, oh, my back's hurting, or a small headache, I can't be in masjid, these are not valid excuses. Remember, when you miss namaz, you're causing discomfort, you're bringing discomfort to the eyes of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So remember, whenever we miss namaz, or shaitan brings this excuse, if you got a headache, don't go to the masjid, or this happening. Remember, whose eyes you bring discomfort. We want to be the comfort of the eyes of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and read namaz. Remember, all the prophets had been blessed ascension, the Mi'raj. But the Mi'raj of a believer is his namaz. So how much time, how much importance do we give toward our namaz? We need to ask ourselves. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala alaihi wa sallam. It's narrated that once Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions went into a pond. The Holy Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, "Everybody swim to his closest friend." So they all did that, and only Holy Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu were left. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam moved towards the Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu, embraced him, and said, "If I were to make you my Khalil, it would be Sayyidina Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu. However, he is my closest friend." Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu narrated, "I saw the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam standing with the leader believers. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu from Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu arrived. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam greeted him, embraced him, and kissed him on the face. Sayyidina Ali radiallahu anhu said, the Holy Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam kissed the face of Abu Bakr Siddiq. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, "O Abu Hassan, the status of Siddiq Akbar in my court is similar to my status in the court of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala." The leader of believers, Ala Hazrat Imam Ahl Sunnat, Imam Ahmad Rida Khan Rahmatullah Ta'ala has stated in his Fatawa Rizviya Sharif, the friends of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say that in the entire universe there is no spiritual guide compared to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and there is no disciple compared to Siddiq Akbar radiyallahu ta'ala an. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu ta'ala wasallam. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us the love, a drop of love that Siddiq Akbar radiyallahu anhu had for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Sallu ala al-Habib sallallahu ta'ala ala Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Can I ever read Al-Fatiha and Surah Ikhlas 3 times? Bismillah. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على خاتم النبيين اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. Oh Allah, to accept our dars in your just record. Ya Allah, we ask you to first send it Swab in the court of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam, with the wasila of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, send it Swab in the barga, in the court on all the Anbiya Kiram alayhi musallatu wa salam, walidani Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Sahaba, Sabi'at, Tabi'in, Tabi'at, Tabi'in, Tabi'at, especially Siddiq Akbar radiallahu anhu. Ya Allah, we keep elevating their ranks. Ya Allah, we ask you to grant us their barakat. Ya Allah, send Isal Sawab in the court of all the Muslimin, Muslimat, Mu'mineen, Mu'minat that passed on instead of Iman. Ya Allah, Azawajal, we ask you to accept all the lawful du'as, remove all of difficulties. Ya Allah, all the some brothers sitting here, accept all the lawful du'as, remove all of difficulties. Ya Allah, Azawajal, the new Islamic year has started. Ya Allah, we ask you to grant us ability to perform more good deeds this year than we performed last year. Ya Allah, we ask you to protect us from committing sins. Ya Allah, protect us from committing major amount of sins. Ya Allah, Azza wa Jal, all the Muslims are being oppressed by the world, shower your mercy upon them. Ya Allah, Azza wa Jal, shower special mercy among the people of Palestine, Gaza, Syria, Yemen, Pakistan, India, Kashmir, China, Sudan. Ya Allah, Azza wa Jal, the Muslims who are passed on Iman, forgive them major amount of sins. Ya Allah, Azza wa Jal, those who have been injured, grant them all complete shifa. Ya Allah, Azzadud al-Mazis, those some brothers, sisters who are ill at home, grant them all complete shifa. Ya Allah, Azzawajal, grant us peace, tranquility, harmony, blessing in our homes, in our family, in our sustenance. Ya Allah, we ask you to grant Qari Ismail's quick shifa. Ya Allah, grant Hajj quick shifa, and Tuqiba quick shifa. Ya Allah, Azzawajal, whatever lawful du'as we have in our heart, accept all the lawful du'as. Ya Allah, grant us ability to perform Hajj and Umrah every single year. Ya Allah, Azza wa Jal, grant us ability to fast in the month of Ramadan in the city of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Allahumma ballighna Ramadana bi sihhati wa afiyah. Oh Allah, we ask you to grant istiqamat upon the creed, upon the belief of Ahl Sunnati wal Jama'ah. Ya Allah, Azza wa Jal, protect our Iman, grant istiqamat upon Iman, grant a good death upon Iman in the city of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa sallam. Ya Allah, we ask you to grant us love for the companions of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, increase our love for the family of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ya Allah, keep us away from those people who have bad beliefs regarding the companion and the Ahl Bayt of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. کہتے رہتے ہیں دعا کے واسطے بندے تیرے کر دے پوری آرزو ہر ایک مجبور کی. وصلی اللہ تعالی علی سیدنا مولانا محمد وعلی آلہ وصحبہ اجمعین برحمتک یا ارحم الراحمین. لا الہ الا اللہ محمد رسول اللہ.
سلام علیکہ یا رسول سلام علیکہ یا حبیب سلام علیکہ صلوات اللہ علیکہ no matter how much the devil tries, for you will never die. Glory light and then the seven light. We're going to paradise, Ya Nabi. Salam alayka, Ya Rasul. Salam alayka, Ya صلوات الله عليك لغاث اعظم شفاز عالم امام اعظم سبھی کے رنج و غم یا نبی سلام علیکہ یا رسول سلام علیکہ یا حبیب سلام علیکہ صلوات
سبحانک اللہم وبحمدک لا الہ الا انت استغفرک واتوب الیک. الصلاۃ والسلام علیک یا نبی اللہ وعلی آلک واصحابک یا نور اللہ.